Hey guys. Uh, so I've got 3 games uploaded that I'm going to be releasing over the next week, I guess. And I played in a Dota Underlords tournament. It was the North American Dota Underlords Cup for 2019. It was put on by MSI, and I got absolutely destroyed. But that's okay. I was the lowest rank you were allowed to be and still enter the tournament, so I kind of expected getting killed. Uh, but it was great. It was a really fun tournament, and uh, just being in the chat room and kind of hanging out with the other players was really cool. Uh, and I won $5, even though I came in like 1,000th place or something. That was ridiculous. I don't know. But I think it had the potential to be really excellent for the community. I'm not sure how good overall it is. I hope that MSI or other groups will still want to do tournaments. I don't think the viewership has been as good as they expected, um, but I don't know. Maybe they did not. Maybe they kind of just assumed this would be the viewership. I don't know for sure, but it was really fun. It's still going on. It's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, so it'll be. I'm probably going to put this video up tonight or tomorrow morning. So there's a game Saturday at 6 o'clock and Sunday at 6 o'clock Central Time. If you go on Twitch, several of the big streamers are playing. So you have Bruised by God, 1437. I think Swim is still in the tournament, but I'm not 100%. Um, and you also have, there are 4 or 5 dedicated streamers. Breaky CPK is the one that I've been watching. But they have several streams up. It would be helpful just to go watch it, right? There's 2 games this week. I think there's 3 games next week each day, um, which it's a little bit of time, but it's good for the community, um, and it encourages other groups to come in and maybe host tournaments, which is definitely good for the community. But having said that, those videos will be up. Um, I didn't get too salty. I got destroyed in 2 of the 3 games. One of the games I thought I did extremely well, but the other 2 I just got crushed, and I got a little salty in the last one, but it was kind of expected. Even though I knew I wasn't going to do exceptionally well, it was still kind of uh, disheartening to get beat that bad. But it happens. Basically, I haven't played very much, or I haven't recorded very much. Before the big update, I had about a month and a half where I was really grinding. I was trying to hit Lord. I made it to Big Boss, which I'm totally happy with. Um, After the update, I got bumped back down to Lieutenant. I think Lieutenant 3 is where I ended up at. And I've made it up to Lieutenant 4 and 5, but I've got bumped back down again recently. Um, but I was going to take a minute just to kind of talk about the game after the update and how things look. Right now, I think there's a significant negative opinion in the community about the game, and I'm not sure if that is overall. I know it definitely is on Reddit, which I think is generally true of any gaming community. The Reddit community is always saltier, it's always much more negative. But it's also with a lot of the streamers. The streamers that are left that still stream the game are actually very optimistic about it, I think. But the streamers that were very big before the update and have quit, they're extremely salty about it. And I don't really know why. I feel like the game is in a better place now than it's been since its inception. And they made a lot of changes. They added 2 Underlords. The third one is coming out, I think, next week, as a matter of fact. And then the fourth one will probably be out in the next 2 months or so. They added a jail system, so every day specific heroes are just unavailable. You can't get them. So it really, basically, there's a daily shakeup of the meta. Even if there is some broken build idea on any given day, it might not be buildable. Like today, you have no ogre, you have no puck, you have no Lena. It's impossible to build mages if you want 6. Gyro and Alk being out. Gyro kind of hurts mages. Alk kind of hurts scrappies, but they're both buildable. Chaos Knight being out doesn't, like, Knights are still buildable, but you really want Chaos Knight. In general, easier damage in Knights. Sand King doesn't make insects unplayable, but he is one of the better 4. So you have stuff like that. There's been just a ton of balance changes in the last, I don't know, month. And I'm not gonna read through all of them. A lot of them have been changes to Underlords, but it's obvious to me that they're working on the game and they respond to the community really well. Every once in a while, you'll have one of the devs get on Reddit or get on the public Discord server and just talk to players and tell them, hey, look, this is what we're thinking about doing. What do you think about this? And they seem to respond really well to feedback, which I think is a good sign. Everybody keeps saying, this game is in beta still, which it is, but a game being in beta in today's world doesn't mean as much as it used to. I think technically Dota's still in beta, and it's had a $1 million tournament for 10 years. So just because it's in beta, that's not really an excuse for the game to be not well made. But I think now, more so than 2 months ago. Like 2 months ago, I was grinding to Lord with one build, and the big reason I didn't record any games was because literally every single game I was going the same units. I was doing the exact same thing every time, and the build I was going was a guaranteed first through 4th place. And that build doesn't work anymore. It's dead. So I think the game is much closer to a balanced place. There's a pretty clear divide between what your main alliances are and your supporting alliances are. And out of the main alliances, Assassin is viable, very. It's very high variance, but I think it's intended to be. I mean, it's an alliance that's based around critical attacks. It's going to be high variance. Elusive isn't necessarily viable in and of itself. I don't think it's terrible. You get 3 assassins for free. You get 2 hunters for free. You get 1 bug for free. I think it's viable. The bonus you get for being elusive isn't that great though. So maybe not super viable, but it's runnable. And usually you just pick it up. It's more like a support alliance than a main one. Hunters, super viable. These are all great damage dealers. Medusa is an extremely good unit late game. And as long as you find some other alliance to put in to be your defense, it's a great alliance to run. Warriors have been nerfed into the ground, but they were overpowered. I think maybe they're a little weaker than they need to be at the current moment, but I think that's a fair change considering that I won with them for 2 months straight. Scrappies actually feel better now than they have since I was running them. And I mean, to be fair, they only really worked when I was playing them because I was such a low rank. Today, they're runnable. I don't know how good 6 is. I've tried 6 several times, and sometimes I do okay, sometimes I don't. 4 seems really solid, though, if you get Timber, Clockwork, Tinker, +1. The biggest weakness Scrappies have is they're very vulnerable to the jail system. And like today, Alchemist is out. You kind of want Alch. You can run it without it, though. And like I ran today and I got a first place with Scrappies. So they're not terrible. There will be some days they're just not runnable. But that's okay too, I think. So pretty much every major alliance, except for Knights, is viable. Knights just suck, and that's just a fact. Sorry, Knights players, I got nothing for you. Brute and Brawny are both, I think, intended to be support alliances. Brawny right now, or Brute right now, is kind of working as a main alliance. Probably needs to be nerfed a little bit. You see Brutes in almost every single game. Heartless has been nerfed twice now, which I think is good. It was overpowered. This really needs to be a support alliance. I don't think it really works as a 6 of. Maybe I'm wrong, but both of those feel good. Your Druids and your Savage, they feel great early game and they fall off, but they're intended to. These are meant to be early game units that you transition out of later, and that's fine. I mean, Savage does have 3 4-star units, which is weird. Because of Bristleback, you can kind of run Savage late, but I think you only want like 2. And because of Lone Druid, you might run 2 Druids late. Like hypothetically, you could run your 4 or your 3 4-star or 4-tier Savages plus an Enchantress, and you could have your 4 Savage 2 Druid. Not terrible. It's a solid damage. It's a solid damage buff to any defensive alliance like Warriors or Elusive. Primordial and Mages are both exceptionally good. Mages might be the best alliance in the game right now. I just suck at playing them. It's kind of what I'm working on to get better at the moment. Today they're banned out to almost unplayableness, but that's okay. Scaled still works the same way Scaled always has. You really just want to, maybe run 4 if you are, like if you're head to head against a mage at the end of a game, sure, run 4 and you neuter his damage. Great. Human got changed to where it kind of just is the old Crystal Maiden buff. Crystal Maiden became a stun unit now, which is good. Human's a great support cast. Every alliance can benefit from more mana, so it's good just to run. Dragon still works the same way Dragon did. If you have 1, you want 2. Call it good. They've rebalanced a lot of the items. Tier 3 items still feel really hit or miss. Like, you have to have Mask of Madness in Assassins. And to be honest, pretty much any other build wants it, except for Mages. And there feels like there's a lot of garbage in here with it. And it feels really bad sometimes. Like, the items are probably the place that needs the most balance work at the moment. Because sometimes it just feels like you have a winnable game, but either you don't get any good items or the opponent only gets good items and you lose. But, you know, it is a work in progress. The next update is supposedly going to be fairly big. I do think it's happening next week. I'm not 100%. It's Valve, so it could be later. But, I mean, just personally, I think probably the biggest weakness of the game is learning it as a new player. If you're not a Dota player, it's hard to get into. If you're not an auto chess player, it's hard to get into. But I think balance-wise, overall, both the Underlords feel great right now. I think Inesix is probably a little bit more popular. I prefer Hobgen. Hobgen had like a 1-week period where literally every single person picked him because he was just that good, and then they hit him with the Nerf Hammer, and he is less playable again. But I think it's to the point now where you can basically run either Underlord in any comp and feel good about it. A lot of people don't like how they were implemented, but I mean, I think that's just something you have to deal with. Like, it's part of the game, and it's part of what makes this auto chess game unique. So I think they were a good change to the game. Having said all that, I mean, that's pretty much all that I wanted to say. Is I have a tournament game that I played. I'll be releasing it this week. You can watch me get absolutely stomped and get a little bit salty about it. Past that, though, I'm probably just going to start playing games again and getting them uploaded. kind of out of my grinding pattern. I've been running scrappies a lot lately just because I love scrappies. But past that, that's all I've really got for that. There was one other thing that I wanted to bring up because this is kind of pertinent. So there was this COPA bill passed, and I don't know exactly when it passed or anything, but it's become a thing, and it's child protection, which is fine. And as far as I can tell, it is to insulate children from specific advertisements on YouTube. I don't think it's to insulate children from content in videos. I think it's for content in advertisements, which bothers me on one hand because as a YouTube creator, you don't pick your advertisements. YouTube does that. And so basically what has happened is YouTube has said, well, you have to let us know if your videos are for children. The problem with this is if you say your videos are for kids, you really lose out on the potential money you can make. And if you say your videos are not for kids, I think you're just completely unable to make money. And it says this in here somewhere, I think. And there's a lot of dissenting opinion over exactly how well this is going to stick and how big of a deal this is. The scary thing about it is the fine, I think, is $20,000. And if you get hit once, it basically means that every single video you've made can be hit. So, I mean, you're talking about, like, even for me, I have like 20 videos up. Like, I mean, this could be $4 million. I'm going to go ahead and say good luck to whoever sues me for it because I ain't got it. And more to the point, I don't even know if ads play on my videos. I have 20 subscribers, 21 subscribers. So thank you to you people that actually watch my videos, but I'm pretty sure that I'm not really a liability here, but I do want to go over it, and I think they have... Yeah, so basically, if your video is for kids, you can't have comments, can't have notifications, and other features, it says. So, I mean, making your videos for kids kind of kills your ability to be a channel, and making it not for kids kind of kills your ability to ever make money. I don't make money. I don't really feel that I ever will. If I do, that's great, but this is kind of something that could be a deterrent from that. But the big thing was this. This is their guidelines for, is your video made for kids? So if your audience is primarily children, or your videos are not, or your audience isn't primarily children, but your videos are directed towards children. All right, so I'm pretty sure my main viewers are not children. I can see your ages as long as you have that information enabled and everybody's like 20 years old. But this is how you tell if it's for kids. If it's educational, okay, no. If, intended for preschoolers, okay, nope. Whether children actually are the audience, nope. Whether the video includes child actors, no. Whether the video includes characters, celebrities, or toys that appeal to children, including animated characters or cartoon figures. And this is the important one, I think. This is why most video game content makers are worried, because technically everything in a video game is animated. So all the characters are animated, and video games appeal to children. Now, they've also defined children as people younger than 13, and there have already been voices from the FTC pop up and say this also isn't targeted at like tweens, right? So basically, children is younger than 10. So, I mean, I think arguably a lot of video games aren't. I definitely don't think Dota Underlords is. I don't think Hades Star is. But a lot of people are worried that things like, oh, it's got flashy colors and things like that, and that means it's appealing to kids. I think that's a bunch of bullshit, and I don't think it's gonna stick. The other thing is language in the video intended for children. Definitely not. Activities that appeal to children. This is kind of another sticking point. Like their examples are play acting, songs and games, early education. No, but video games appeal to children, right? So it's kind of a sticky thing. Um, I don't have songs. I'm not going to sing to you guys. I'm not that good. Um, any other information you may have, blah blah blah. Basically, if you think your video appeals to kids, then you're liable. Well, okay. So here's the thing. I don't. Um, and I usually make an attempt in my videos not to curse, mostly because I make an attempt in my life not to curse excessively. And I've never really thought it was a problem, or, like, I feel like I'm going to lose viewers. I feel like more people will not watch me if I do curse than people that, would watch me because I do. But I think, like, from this point on, I'm just make it an attempt to say at least one curse word in every video I do. Like, I mean, even if I say bullshit or something, I don't know. I'm not worried about it. My audience isn't kids, and I don't intend my audience to be kids. But this is a thing. If you subscribe to people on YouTube, for yourself or for your kids, be aware of this. Like, this is stupid. And the YouTube community that does make money off of YouTube, I know everybody's like, oh, these people play video games for a living, but for the last like 5 years, they've been pulling less and less money. And I mean, and that's why you see so many people that have ads now, or they advertise a Patreon. It's because they can't make money off of it anymore. And you can say, regardless of what your opinion is on making money from YouTube videos, like, these people, made a career out of it. And that ability is being stripped away from them, both by YouTube as a company and by the government. And, whether or not you think it's right or wrong, that's your own opinion, and you're welcome to it. But I think, regardless of your opinion, you should be aware of what happens. And so I was made aware of it by YouTube, and so I'm making you aware of it as a viewer. If you made it to this point, congratulations. This is just my giant, basically, if I ever get sued by this, I'm going to point to this video and say, no, I'm pretty sure right here I covered this, and no. So this is my giant fuck off to YouTube and Copa and everything else. And with that, I'm going to call it good. So thanks, guys, for watching me. I appreciate it. I'll have some more games out soon. And until then, you can enjoy watching me get wrecked by Underlords players that are about a bajillion times better than me at the game. All right, guys. I'll see you.